what you better do.
Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And this week we are traveling to North Dakota.
You may ask why.
Completely randomly.
Totally randomly.
Honestly, we thought, let's do a state. And I said, how about one of the Dakotas?
What made you think of North Dakota?
Absolutely nothing.
So this is part of like periodic we
We'll get a state.
we pick a location on the planet and we decide to just look at creepy stories from that area. Mm-hmm. And North Dakota, no shade to North Dakotans, I was like, what an inspired place that...
It probably was inspired from the divine.
I think it was. We have zero association with. I don't think that they particularly listen to the show. I did not pull stats from North Dakota.
No.
Sometimes we've been like, here's a state that listens to us the least.
Yeah.
But I don't even know.
I don't either. I know that it's not of note, let's say.
Right.
They're not toward the top. I don't think that we've seen them toward the bottom. I seriously just pulled it out of my ass.
I'm so pleased that you did.
Oh, good.
It was fun. I love a random ghost story. I love random odd stories from all over the place. So my hope is that in this episode, we're going to get a decent variety of, I've got hauntings, you've got, what are your categories?
Cryptids and a little alien stuff.
Cryptids and one little alien. And we're going to get into it, but I do, we haven't had a mini segment at the top of the show, I think, in years.
Yeah.
But I thought of something, and I have no other outlet to say it, so I'm going to say it here.
Okay, great.
I realized... So we're doing North Dakota, and I abbreviated it for fun to NoDa.
Okay.
Right? North Dakota, NoDa.
So do you think that South Dakota does soda?
Soda. Yeah, soda.
Oh, great.
So I made a list of every state in the United States that has two words. Mm-hmm. Because there aren't that many.
Yeah.
And I realized they're almost all improved if you jam those two words into a single word.
Oh, I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then maybe you can guess which ones they are. Ready?
Okay.
So NoDa and soda are obviously North Dakota, South Dakota.
I'm going to be really showing my ass here. I
How about,
know nothing.
Well, this is another easy one.
Okay.
Noka and Soka.
Oh, North California and stuff.
What did you say to me? North California?
I was just thinking, like... It's
because you're thinking of like SoCal? Yeah, there's states. There's states.
It has to be a state. Okay.
It has to be a state.
Okay.
The state of North California. You thought North California was its own state. I almost had a heart attack. No, not regions, specifically states.
Okay. So
these are the 50 states.
Do one at a time for me.
Noka. This is awesome.
No, William, we can't do. Please
North
don't
Carolina.
Do this to me.
North Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina becomes Soka.
Okay.
New Hampshire becomes Newham. All right?
Yeah.
New York becomes Nuyo. Maybe the hardest one to say, I will admit.
It should be Neo.
Neo.
Yeah.
Yes. New York becomes Neo. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes, you're fixing it already. New Mexico becomes Numi. Rhode Island becomes Rhody. West Virginia becomes Wevy. Or Weevy.
Yeah.
And New Jersey, I realized, had a special thing that happened when I did it. Nooge. Nooge. Snoochie boochies.
Oh, Snooch the Nooch. That's perfect.
That's maybe Jason Mewes of Jay and Silent Bob has been saying New Jersey all along.
It's been blessed.
Nooge.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's amazing.
All right, let's get back to NoDa. We'll talk about hauntings, cryptids, and one little alien from North Dakota after this commercial break.
Okay. Would you like to tell me about a ghost, please?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Mine are all over the map, I have to admit.
Hopefully not literally.
Well, I have no idea. They're all in North Dakota, but I have no idea if they're
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if we found a place where it was like all these haunted locations are clustered in like a 3-block radius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you always think like, here's a haunted restaurant, here's a haunted hospital, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But you never think like, well, what's the proximity to each other? Like, it'd be really crazy if it was like, for some reason, every haunted building is in the top left corner of the state.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Almost like, I don't know, there's some sort of like central hub, like in Ghostbusters.
Yes.
That's creating all these hauntings right around them.
Absolutely, Kristen. Well, I am going to talk to you about a haunted hospital first.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you about St. Joseph's Hospital. I checked hauntedplaces.org, one of our favorite sources.
The best.
For all things. Find our sources on scaryfun.fun. But so they have a ranking system that has
I know.
always eluded and confused me.
I never really pay attention to it.
I kind of wanted to get a sense. Well, let me put it this way. I started by looking at what hauntedplaces.org calls the most haunted place in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. And very quickly realized, like, this seems totally random. Yeah. I don't have any idea why this place is more haunted than any other place on this list.
Right. It's user generated or something, right?
It is, but even at that, I'm like, I don't know why people would click and be like, this is haunted.
Yeah,
This is more haunted than that other haunted place.
Who knows? Maybe it's just like local spirit.
Maybe, yeah. You know? Spirit. Mm-hmm. Hometown spirit.
That's right.
Oh, man. Hometown spirit being a literal ghost. Anyway.
It's like a mascot for your town.
Yeah. It's ranked 90 out of 100 on their, like, haunted scale.
It's pretty good.
That's an A.
Yeah.
A for ghosts. So, now I tried to figure out why, because hauntedplaces.org had very little information about it. Mm-hmm. So I had to instantly find another source.
Yeah.
To figure out what's going on at St. Joseph's Hospital.
Must be notorious.
The scarefactor.com provided the following summary. All right.
Okay.
The haunted hospital is a real abandoned hospital regarded as one of the most haunted locations in North Dakota and possibly the country. The history and stories will send chills down parts of your body you didn't even realize you had.
Wow. Well, I guess it would be good to know. So,
in an attempt to say that it's even scarier than sending a chill down your spine,
right,
they made it so strange.
Yeah, definitely.
It sends chills down like some vestigial limb.
Yeah. Yeah, a phantom limb of mine is going to get freaked out by this hospital.
A part of my body I didn't know I have.
I mean, I guess it's a good thing that you're in the hospital.
It sent a chill down my frenulum. You know what that is?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
Did you not know you had it?
Well, I don't know if everyone knows what a frenulum is. What's a frenulum?
Isn't that thing that splits your balls?
What? No! You thought I'd say that to you?
I thought it was
At
weird.
least unknowingly. I don't know. I thought it was the thing on your lip. I thought it was that little divot at the top of your top lip.
Oh, maybe it's the thing that divides your tongue.
Wait a minute. I gotta go.
What's that thing that's like the line of your balls?
Kristen, believe it or not, I don't know.
I thought it was weird that you were saying it.
Yeah, let me make sure. Did I? Oh!
Am I right?
You were right!
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Why did I say that?
It's that little line.
I thought what's the line on your nose?
Oh, I don't know. I would know it if I saw the word. I can't think of what it's called.
The frenulum is where your foreskin meets the underside of your penis. So you were also wrong. But why did I say that?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. Now I've got major concerns. I'm going to issue an apology to you.
It's like your philtrum or something.
What is the line on your lip called? Oh, God. All right. The philtrum.
Oh.
It's very close, to be fair. Well, shit, everyone. Look what I did.
I was right on both counts.
You were pretty right on the first one. It's not the seam. I don't know what the seam is called.
Well, now I want to know. Can you look that up?
Yeah, what's the seam? Welcome to Guide to the Unknown.
Yeah, seriously.
On scrotum. All right. The seam on a scrotum is called the scrotal raphe or perineal raphe or Rafe.
Wow, I didn't know that at all.
Is that what Rafe Fiennes is named after?
I think so. I think that's the lore between
perineal Rafe.
I've never heard that in my life. The perineal Rafe. I totally. Well, whatever.
I don't know. Well. I mean, what do I do now? This show just started, and we're already way off the mark. We're way far from the rails.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Your philtrum. It sends a spine down your philtrum, is the joke I was trying. A chill down your philtrum.
You know, let's just switch to mine.
I know. I think I had a
The Miniwashitu.
I think I had a stroke.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I apologize.
It's okay.
Let's try to fix this now. All right. So, back to the St. Joseph's Hospital. We have to do a whole show
I need to go to the hospital
We're
now.
just getting started with our day, and this is how it began.
I know. I was telling Will, which hasn't happened to me since I was in high school, since I somewhat went to college. I woke up late today. Like, I woke up at 10, And I was like, "Ah!" And we recorded 11. So I had to like get ready, like when you're in school and stuff, and like dart out the door.
Yeah.
So I still feel like I'm only like kind of awake. And now this is happening. My brother said frenulum to me, and like, I don't know what's going on.
No one knew what a frenulum was until I Googled it.
I did.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that part. All right. Anyway, all right. My brother said frenulum to me. AMA. All right. So.
I don't know where I am practically. Like, I usually wake up and like have like a leisurely time of like luxuriating.
Yeah. Well, the joy is done. You're at work
very
now,
much.
all
I know.
right? So, I now had to find yet another source because that one taught me nothing. It says chills down parts of your body you didn't know existed.
School taught you nothing.
No, that's true. I got to go back to health class, everybody. So, hauntedrooms.com finally gave me some like secondhand kind of stories.
Yeah.
All right. Many of the employees of St. Joseph's Hospital, is that right? Yeah, St. Joseph's Hospital, say that there is ghostly activity in many of the different areas of the hospital. For example, the elevator down to the morgue is often seen operating all by itself.
Oh, cool.
But I like that it's like, is that sort of stated backwards? You know, it's not that the elevator down to the morgue, like elevator down to the morgue sounds like the elevator is going down to the morgue.
Right.
It sounds like someone called the elevator down and something's coming up from the morgue.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I thought that was
totally.
kind of fun.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to point out in our live chat, this is this is going to be the last word on it, but I want to give you
After
your
this,
due.
it's going to be dry information and incredibly educational.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I just want to give you your due. We record live on youtube.com/GTTUpod. Excuse me. And in our live chat, Scribbles said there are definitely mouth frenulums too. LOL, don't worry, Will. Yeah, I was thinking, I think frenulum is also maybe where your tongue connects to the bottom. I think maybe it's where things connect.
Okay. All right. I did a little more research. Okay.
Yeah.
A frenulum, meaning not the frenulum.
Well, that's the big one.
A frenulum is a band of tissue that connects organs.
Yes.
So there are different kinds of frenulums. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So can everyone get their head out of the gutter for 4 seconds?
I did say that earlier, and it's just Scribbles is backing me up here.
I got to start listening to you. Anyway.
Yes.
Anyway.
So thank you.
Back to work,
Of course.
Speaking of the morgue, they say, the doors also open by themselves on occasion, which is made all the more creepy by the fact that they have to be opened from inside the morgue unless you have an access key. So the morgue really does seem to be a hot spot where it's like you take the bodies down.
Yeah.
I guess that's where all the ghostly activity is. Makes a lot of sense.
Totally.
You know? You would think that like people who experience the most ghostly activity then would be people who work in the morgue.
Yeah. I mean, do they not? Maybe they do.
I don't know.
I wonder if they're like morgue person, people who work in morgue forums who are they're just like trading these stories back and forth.
Yeah, maybe. Is there like you know how like different industries have industry secrets?
Yeah.
Like what are the industry secrets of working in a morgue, you know?
I bet some of them are like I bet they do talk about stuff like that. I'm sure
They must.
I'm sure there are other kinds of industry secrets that are more like goo.
Oh, yeah,
But I
yeah.
bet there are people who trade stories about like creepy kind of like ghostly activity sort of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Disembodied voices are said to be fairly common in the cafeteria. And there are lots of running footsteps heard in the basement, but upon investigation, there's nobody there. So one of the rooms on the 3rd floor seems to have a ghostly patient that has never left, as on nights when the room is unoccupied, the nurse's call button is often pressed, which is weird to me where it's like, well, who noticed what? Like,
Yeah.
is it like at the nurse's station, they notice that an empty room keeps calling them, or did somebody
Right.
go to the room and see that the button is pressed all the time?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I bet it's that they keep getting called to that room and they're like, damn it.
Yeah, not again.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We have real work to do.
Yeah. So I mentioned that hauntedplaces.org did not have much info, but what hauntedplaces.org does have that I love are comments.
Yes.
The comment
That's
section.
where the meat is.
Yes. So I've got comments here from real people who have things to say about St. Joseph's Hospital, starting with Nick. There is one room that is locked up. Supposedly, a bunch of priests and nuns got scratched up while performing an exorcism. Could be urban legend, though.
Could be.
Could be.
All right, Nick.
Could be. And then this is from Vanna. I live 1 block away. It's creepy! Up for sale right now. And like you said, abandoned. The abandoned thing is weird. Who's noticing the elevator moving? Do elevators still work in abandoned buildings? And the call button being pressed.
Well, are those stories maybe... those stories have to be from when it wasn't abandoned.
Yeah, I guess so, but...
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I guess. It's hard to...
It's definitely hard to parse out this.
It's hard to parse out, and it's hard to...
timeline.
Exactly. So, they keep a few of the lights on. I saw one of the lights flickering the other night from the 3rd floor, which, if you recall, they said that up on the 3rd floor, one of the rooms on the 3rd floor is said to have a ghostly patient that never left.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So now this person is saying, I saw the lights flickering from the 3rd floor, which is
that
fun.
rules.
When I was on a walk. When I walked up closer, nobody was in the building at all. No cars in the parking lot, all locked up. I got this horrible feeling like I needed to get away. So I ran out of there as fast as I could. And I love just living in the environment.
Yeah.
Seeing this, just being out for a walk.
That's scary.
Just stumbling across it. That's the best part of a scary story, is just stumbling your way into it.
Yeah.
You know?
That is freaky. Like, I would assume those probably like teens and stuff who broke in there or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, like, I can imagine taking a walk at night, seeing this abandoned hospital, and seeing a light flickering up there, and just like, even if you know that it's probably just people who broke in to explore, it's creepy.
Oh, it's totally creepy.
Yeah.
I have a thing where, like, I assume, and I feel like more people should assume, that everything, every abandoned building, I assume someone's in there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Likely.
Like, there's a decent amount of people that like to do, like, urban exploring.
Yeah.
There's, a huge, like, population of people without housing.
Yeah, totally.
That any indoor environment would probably be somewhat preferable to being out in the rain or something. So I always assume that somebody is inside these abandoned buildings.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether it's a person or a ghost, you're going for a walk at night and you see a light.
And
that's an attention grabber, right? You're like, that's not supposed to be on. Like, when do you ever walk? This is why I think about, like, New York City.
Yeah.
Like, all those buildings and windows in New York City, not a single one of them grabs your attention because there are too many of them.
Yeah.
But when there's an abandoned building having one light on that draws the eye and instantly gets your gears turning, and you tell yourself a scary story reflexively.
And it's unknown. Like, all the buildings that have so many lights on that you can't even focus on them, like, you know that those are homes or offices or whatever. Like, when it's just kind of like one light in a building that's otherwise dark, like, what is that?
Yeah, what's going on
there? Like, anything that's unknown that way instantly makes you a little bit like, ew, whether it's like, oh, it's probably like kids poking around in there, but I don't know that.
Even
like,
if it's
who knows
kids
what it is?
Poking around in there. Like, what are they up to?
Totally. Like, I don't know.
I was a curious kid. I never went trolling around in an abandoned building. Did you ever as a kid?
Yeah.
You did?
Uh-huh.
When?
Well, there was that. It wasn't abandoned, but didn't you go in that house that they were constructing on our street?
Yes.
In St. Louis.
In Missouri, yeah. At the top of this tall hill.
Yeah.
We were at the bottom of this hill on a cul-de-sac, and at the very top of the hill, they built a new house.
Yeah.
And I think it was the night that I thought you snuck out, or that you did sneak out. I had a friend sleeping over. You had friends sleeping over.
I snuck out, but
what? You snuck out many times?
Yeah.
Where were you going? There was nowhere to go. Really?
Are you kidding? You thought that was one time?
It was the one time I knew about.
Yeah, I figured you... Well, whatever. Yeah.
What was on the windowsill when you snuck out? Is that why you always wanted to come in and out through the window? All right, another tangent, everyone. There's no choice. This is the kind of episode we're getting today. It's just how it's going to be. The frenulum's and fun. So... in Missouri one night, Kristen had friends sleeping over. We're teenagers, you know, we're like 15 and 12, let's say. Kristen's got friends sleeping over. I've got friends sleeping over. And then I realized that maybe we were trying to sneak up on you or creep you out through the door or something, and there was no sound from inside your room. So we opened the door and you'd made up the bed to look like people were sleeping.
Yeah.
But it was the classic pillows under the blanket.
Yeah.
So we knew you snuck out. So my friend and I decided, well, we got to figure out where they went. So we snuck out. And all of a sudden, all the Rogers kids, all the kids in the neighborhood are just creeping around in the dark around this cul-de-sac, I guess. And so we climbed up the tall hill to the not abandoned.
Yeah, it was
the
under
new construction. And I think I stepped like 2 feet inside, got freaked out and left.
Yeah.
But what I was just saying about the windowsill is that Kristen and I had a habit in Missouri. And I have to assume that maybe this is just normal kid stuff, but maybe also because we moved.
Yeah.
We kept swapping rooms.
Yeah.
Like, we only lived there for 3 years, and I'd say we swapped rooms at least like 4 times.
Definitely.
So we would
like
literally
upstairs and downstairs.
drag mattresses up and down the stairs. Now it's my room. Now it's your room. When I was in that room, Kristen decided to prank me by her chore was to go outside and shovel the dog poop off the lawn, and she sprinkled it across the windowsill like a freak, like a total like psychological warfare creep.
It's a gift.
The very windowsill that you later crept across.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway,
but yeah, even besides that, not like a ton, but I have gone into. Oh, I wasn't talking about sneaking out, but yes, I've done a lot of that. But yeah, I've gone into like abandoned, creepy buildings and stuff.
Around the same time, like younger teen
In Missouri, yeah.
In Missouri.
I don't think I did that older, like living in New Jersey. The only kind of like weird New Jersey thing I did that was like scary like that was going to the abandoned aqueducts in the middle of the night.
I don't know what that is.
It's basically it's kind of boring. It's like this, like you could go up really, 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 really crazy high on top of these aqueducts in Watchung, I think it is. And you're above all the trees and everything and look down, and it's like really nuts. And some people, it almost looked like a bridge or something where it was almost like a bridge where there were ladders in the inside of the bridge. You could kind of crawl up on the inside of this bridge.
Creepy.
I didn't do that. We didn't do that. It was too scary. People would do that, but Sarah, Dan, her husband, and I went to the top and just looked out over the forest, and we're like, whoa. And when we came back,
go back down.
Basically,
climb. Back down.
We saw also because you weren't allowed to do it as trespassing, so that's why we went in the middle of the night and we parked in some off the beaten path area so the cops wouldn't see us.
Yeah.
And there was a weird area with I don't know, satanic graffiti and just what you want.
Sure, exactly
basically.
what you want.
Yeah.
But you're in the middle of the night
Yes.
alone. That's the scarier stuff. And trusting the infrastructure of a place. I have another story a little bit later where it's like
fine. It was, it's quite sturdy.
I don't.
But we were climbing up was scary. It was honestly like so diagonal that it was like close to vertical. We were like scrambling on hands and knees like up this thing. It was nuts.
I wouldn't want to do. I'd be afraid of sliding back down, man.
It was crazy.
No good.
Yeah.
I have one last comment for St. Joseph's Hospital. It's a bit of a small story, I guess. But I thought this was interesting. Sophia wrote this comment, and it depends on how you read it, what it means. I have been herein once in the ER, but there were nuns here in that we're nurses. But at some point in time...
Maybe English not the first language.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There were nuns that were nurses, I guess. But at some point in time, the hospital was run by normal people.
Fair.
Just like the magic of a random comment.
Totally.
Nuns are not normal people, you know? That just made me laugh.
It is funny.
So, to some extent, the most haunted location, according to hauntedplaces.org in North Dakota, is the St. Joseph's Hospital. It's got a 90 out of 100, and it's got some of the most basic haunting things you can imagine.
Yeah, totally. But, stack up enough of those.
Yeah, that's true.
And it feels super duper haunted.
Oh, I certainly enjoyed my time. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. So, Will, why don't I tell you about what seems to be the most popular cryptid in North Dakota? This is the Miniwashitu.
Okay. Wow.
I know.
That's the name of the cryptid.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this thing it's like a water cryptid. It also seems to take to land. I initially thought it was like only water, but I guess it's also bipedal and can
amphibious.
come up and about.
Like a frog.
No, not even amphibious. It's hairy.
Yeah, I've never seen a hairy frog.
It can do it all. So it appears along the Missouri River, but that is in North Dakota. It's in Bismarck in the spring. So winters apparently in this area are like extremely nar and frigid. And the river can get frozen like to the extent that ice is like 6 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
Like insanely cold.
North Dakota, one of the only things I know about North Dakota is that it's where Fargo takes place. And I always think about Fargo as being like very icy, you know?
Yeah,
So
totally.
that tracks.
Yeah, I know.
If movies have taught me anything, and almost exclusively they have.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I know. So word spread back, like way back in the day. This started like in the 1700s or something. The talk about the Miniwashitu. Word spread around the Mandan people who settled there. This was a tribe settled along the river that this huge, horrible beast was going to be coming to break up the ice for the spring. This was the Miniwashitu.
Okay.
So it served a purpose. It was going to kind of like, get the river flowing again, but also this is a scary ass thing. So according to a book that was called Prairie Smoke, which is a good name, I think, which was a book written about the lore of North Dakota's prairies in 1921 by Melvin Randolph Gilmore, the Miniwashitu was, quote, a dreadful being covered all over with hair like a buffalo, but red in color. It had only one eye in the middle of its forehead, and above that a single horn. Its backbone stood out notched and jagged like an enormous saw.
Ooh.
I know.
How weird. An enormous saw backbone. That sounds like Godzilla's back with those spines.
Yeah.
But one eye and a horn makes me think of the one-eyed, one-horned flying purple people eater.
You're right.
Right?
But red.
But red. Yeah.
And unable to fly, takes to the sea instead of the air.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
A terrific roaring sound, the book said, could be heard as it swam up the Missouri River. I'm having a hard time picturing this, to tell you the truth, because it's saying that everything's frozen.
I know.
Does this mean that the Miniwashitu is swimming below the surface of the ice? Is there perhaps some water below this frozen 6 feet?
Potentially.
I think that's what's going on.
I have information from your niece. Zoe.
I can't wait to hear it.
Zoe loves a narwhal.
I know. I was thinking about her and narwhals during this.
Loves a narwhal. I think it was in the show Octonauts that she learned about them. And narwhals have one single large tusk at the front of their face.
Yeah.
And according to Zoe, when she puts a spoon in her mouth and lets the handle stick out and then sometimes
Lets the handle dangle.
pokes me in the arm with it, that one narwhal tusk is for breaking up ice. So maybe this
Miniwashitu.
Maybe the Miniwashitu is able to swim up the river because that one horn at the front of its face is breaking up the ice as it swims.
Yeah, that
Right?
makes sense.
Maybe it's swimming through the ice and breaking it with that horn, like the way that like a snowplow drives forward and pushes the snow out of its way as it goes. Maybe that tusk is breaking the ice for it to keep swimming.
I'm being very literal. I think that's totally true. I was thinking if the river was completely frozen or something, and that, to me, that says there's no water to be found here. There must be water beneath.
Yes, I think there.
Is there always water beneath?
I guess it depends on how deep a river is, right? I would assume. Actually, you know what? You know how horrible the internet is, and sometimes you see something you didn't want to see.
Uh-oh, what?
There's a video that I've seen probably many times where it was like people try to do that polar bear plunge kind of notion where like you stab through the top layer of hard ice.
Yeah.
And then somebody jumped into the hole
and
got washed away and never seen again. And so, yes, I think that the top layer of a river, if it's deep enough, there is still water down there. It's almost like now it's being insulated by the ice above.
I guess I was thinking
do
if it's
think so.
6 feet. I guess I was like, this must be like totally frozen. It really doesn't matter. It's my stupid brain being like, whatever.
Well, we're both fabricating knowledge to make sense of the research. Yeah. So I don't know.
Who knows? So, but that is what I'm assuming that's the deal, and what you're saying, that it's swimming below, and then it like uses its huge body and crazy back spikes to then come up and break up that 6 feet or how many feet of ice. And then, like, you know, it can break through and spring can happen and the river can start to flow. And it's apparently like, or it was a big trade route. And things like that can start to like move again.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you saw this thing at nighttime, it looked like a flame of red streaking through the waterway.
Oh, that's cool.
Which sounds super cool.
Yeah.
But at least one person was said to have seen it during the day and lost their mind.
Oh.
Just the sight of
Just
this
the sight
thing
of it.
is gonna throw you.
That's like what they say about H.P. Lovecraft creatures, right? That like you lose your sight, you lose your mind just at the sight of them or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't know that, but that sounds right.
I think that's right.
I'm sure it's true. They sound terrible. One of the stories, it's always like an octopus or something that's wearing like a mechanical hat. That's my understanding.
Sure.
It's like steampunk octopus is what I think that H.P. Lovecraft is.
I think people added steampunk stuff to it
Probably.
over time, yeah.
So to elaborate on that person who lost their mind just slightly, one of the stories in Prairie Smoke tells of a man who saw the monster during the day and lived only long enough to tell people what he saw. Not long after that, he quote unquote lost his reason and died. I know. That's why I pulled it. He lost his reason.
He lost his reason. An old world way of saying you lost your mind.
Yep.
I like that.
I do too. The Mandan tribe, or Mandan, I didn't look it up, but the Mandan tribe lived and traded along the river from the 1100s to the late 1700s when smallpox broke up the trade route. But the legend of the Miniwashitu lives on today, often going by another name, the Missouri River Monster. So if this sounds familiar, but you haven't heard that name, it's the same thing. So I looked up like modern stuff about this because I was like, oh, maybe there's different stuff under this name. So Bismarck of North Dakota's KX News did a report on the monster this past Halloween. It must be fun, like working there during Halloween. You have to do these like weird things.
You don't have to talk about like horror, like real life, misery and death, and you can be like, I get to talk about the
Missouri River Monster. They did also call it the Miniwashitu. So they did this report and they had this modern day info to share. And I quoted it because I think news talk is funny.
Totally.
Quote, standing over 7 feet tall, its large frame is cloaked in red hair, making it look almost like a bipedal buffalo. And also, this is slightly different from what I said before. The most notable of these is the single eye in the middle of its forehead, but it also sports a horn on its head, and its spine grotesquely sticks out of its back. Its hands are humanoid, but its feet are hooves like those of an elk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't see those hooves and hands coming. So the report goes on to say that it's a little conflicting. It says like, yeah, this thing sounds scary, but as long as you don't invade its territory, there's not much to worry about. But it doesn't say what its territory is. So
you might be invading it at any moment.
At any moment.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I understood, it's in territories like the entirety of the Missouri River, plus it's saying that it like goes into the woods.
Yeah,
so, like,
right.
It's
so rivers and land and water.
Yeah,
take to the skies.
And then you'll be safe from this thing.
Yeah.
It says that it will lash out at invaders, but it's been reported to be pescatarian, eating fish and leaves and stuff.
Okay.
So it will attack you, but it won't eat you, I guess was their takeaway.
I'm so glad I've been shredded to death by its hands and hooves, but at least it didn't eat me.
Yes, totally.
I have a question about an eye being in the middle of your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
What's the forehead is above where your eyes are.
Yeah.
But if your eyes were on it, you'd just say
it's just your head.
It's just part of your face.
I know. I guess it's just to describe to us.
Does it have eyebrows?
Two-eyed people. It's using the language of the head that we understand.
Yeah.
But really, for them, it's truly just their head.
It's just their head. It's not the forehead.
No, it's just your head.
It's just their head. It's just above your nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. That's okay. So they say all that. They're like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. It's only going to be mean to you if you're in its territory, and it won't eat you, even though it will attack you. But then they say this, and this is another quote, and this is almost at the end of the report. The very end of the thing is just a little bit of fluff. It's like, but do we believe in it? We don't know, or whatever. But this is the end of the meat of the report. Quote, The Miniwashitu is reportedly so horrific in itself that just looking at it will shatter anyone's mind and darken one's vision, rendering them blind and mad before dying an agonizing death.
Whoa.
And according to some stories, looking in its eye is even worse, as it'll freeze you in perpetual fear for the remainder of your short, crazy existence.
Your short...
I thought it was awesome.
Your short, crazy existence. Yeah. We've lost some of the artfulness in our language. You lost all reason. You'll be frozen in fear for the rest of your short, crazy existence.
That's part of why I thought it was so funny. Like I thought it was funny that
blunt.
it was like in the news. It's obviously a jokey report, of course, but it was just so.
Yeah.
It's so hyperbolic.
Yes, totally.
Too, from the news. Which,
if you see
of course, it would be in a report about the Miniwashitu,
yeah.
but it struck me funny that I was reading something that had like the KX Bismarck. Graphics and everything, but then was talking about making you mad for your short, crazy existence.
Short, crazy life.
Yeah.
Good God. Yeah, that's so weird. For the rest of your shitty, stupid life. Yeah. Back to you, Ted.
Right.
Why is that on the news? Honey, did you see what's on the news?
I'm an asshole. I'm going to go mad if I see this hairy bitch.
I'm an asshole. All right, everybody. All right, more hauntings and horse shit in just a second. I just want to let you all know about the most recent episode of the Netherworld Dispatch, which is online right this second. We called it Scooby-Doo and the Ghastly Games. This is on patreon.com/GTTUpod. In this episode, we played a bunch of Scooby-Doo games. We started with a couple of good ones from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we looked at all the rest, which have been miserable ever since.
They were really, really bad. The graphics were atrocious. We have a video version and you can watch it, but we describe them to you, so it's fine. And you can also hear it, hear, what the video game voices are and everything. It's wild.
It's wild. I like Scooby-Doo. I enjoy it quite a bit, but when I was editing the episode, I was struck by a moment where all of a sudden you're flailing, and then I scream, "Shut this shit off."
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't a show that we did where we put ourselves really through something.
Right.
So go check that out. Once again, that's patreon.com/GTTUpod, and that is just one of almost 150 shows or something.
Isn't it 200 something?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But we're certainly getting up there.
Yeah.
So patreon.com/GTTUpod, find a tier that fits best for you. The entry-level tiers are going to get you access to our Discord and get you started on the Netherworld Dispatch. And then way up at the Demon tier, you get an exclusive episode of the Netherworld Dispatch every single Monday. It's super fun. The party doesn't stop. Go have a good time.
That's right. And you can also get access to all of our regular episodes ad-free.
Ooh, yeah.
By joining the Discord by joining the Patreon at the $4 tier. And, all the tiers up get that as well. So you can listen to the Guide to the Unknown eps. No ads, baby.
Yeah, I've been working on adding everything to the feed going back, so that's going to continue rolling out as I keep working on it. And I also want to say we've been working on fun stuff for Demon tier members, where every Wednesday, if time allows anyway, we've been trying to do something we call Demon Streaming.
Yep.
Where it's just a pretty chill, low-key time where we specifically talk to the audience and take suggestions, and it's super fun. So join the Patreon.
That's saved. It's live where we talk to the people who are hanging out with us, but even if you aren't live for that, you can watch it later. And it's just a way for us to connect further with you and hang out a little bit extra.
Yeah, just trying to make our little corner of the internet lively and fun, and we love our community. So thank you all so much. All right, last thing of the mid-show. Oh,
you know them, you love them.
I can't wait to hear them, Kristen.
I wonder what they're going to say to us.
It's time for a commercial break. Okay. Do you want a haunting now?
Yes, I do.
All right, let's get back to the hauntings. Here's a mini, a mini, but I enjoyed it. All right, this is the Madora Fudge and Ice Cream Depot.
Awesome.
It's a fudge shop.
Cool.
At an ice cream store.
That sounds great.
It's only rated at a 60 out of 100 on Haunted Places. There are no comments.
I'm almost weirdly more curious about it.
No.
Because of that.
Yeah, it's pretty lowly rated.
Yeah.
I was excited about the proposition of doing just sort of like a median.
Yeah, like
one.
90 is cool, but you kind of know what you're gonna get. Like Hauntings all have the same beats.
Yes, they operate
fun
on.
to think about.
Yeah,
and it would be insane to experience, but you kind of You get it.
And this is, I'm not lying to you, this is very micro, but there is something that I found about it that was specifically interesting. So the following data comes to us from hauntedrooms.com again. There is just one ghost inside the Madora, Fudge, and Ice Cream Depot, which looks, by the way, like an old frontier town. Like, you know, it looks like it could exist in the Old West.
Cool.
It's like a cute old building.
Or like
you know,
in
exposed
Disneyland?
wood. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ghost only appears once a year on her birthday.
Yes.
Her own birthday.
She wants to get an ice cream. Maybe they give you free ice cream for your birthday.
Holy shit.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome ghostly scheme.
Yeah. Why would you give that up in death?
That's brilliant. Yeah, exactly. They do go on to say, even if it's not her birthday, all year around, there are still unnatural cold spots inside the ice cream shop.
Well, I mean, come on.
How about an unnatural hot spot near the fudge machine? And they hear strange noises. But yeah, the
Again,
weird thing is
probably
that
the fudge machine.
probably the fudge. Yeah, I heard a strange noise. I bet it was the fudge machine, honey. Now, I found a YouTube video that got into it. There was a YouTube channel I found that I really enjoyed. Supernatural Dares on YouTube.
Okay.
So from what I can tell, just by watching the video, the guy who's hosting it is like, I'm going to do the dare. The Madora, Fudge, and Ice Cream Depot dare. And he tells the story again. He's like, so people say that he can only see this ghost on her birthday. I'm going to do the dare. But here's the thing about the ghost. No one knows who she is, and therefore, no one knows what her birthday is. Okay. And I was like, so what is this going to be?
Yeah.
And it's like a very straight report. And then I was enchanted because I was starting to get to that point where I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
like, how is it possible to care about this? When it's like, how do you know it's her birthday?
Yeah.
You don't know who she is, what her birthday is. She appears once. How do you even know it's her birthday?
He doesn't have to come back every day.
Yeah. So the guy goes, I'm going to do the dare and see if I can find the ghost. And then he just looks left, looks right, and goes, nope. Guess I have to try 364 more times.
Yeah.
Anyway, from Supernatural Dares, thanks for watching. I was delighted by that.
Is this just a channel of like weird ghost pranks? You don't know? Okay, that's okay.
I don't know.
That's okay.
But I really liked the premise of the video, which was this is weird.
Yeah.
And there's very little chance that you have any idea, any shot of seeing this ghost, and no one even knows anything about it.
Yeah.
But they say that it's there.
That's funny.
So bye-bye.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Done.
Loved it. The Madora, Fudge, and Ice Cream Depot, a shorty and literally a sweetie.
Right.
A ghost who appears on her birthday, but no one knows when that is.
Well, let me follow that up with one that I have that's an extremely shorty.
Excellent.
And then I have another,
I'm not against a shorty.
Not longy, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
So there's a chain of restaurants in North Dakota called the Space Aliens Grill and Bar.
Awesome.
I thought maybe that this was going to be something where almost like in Area 51, there's a diner. I mean, I'm sure there are a number of them, but I know I covered a diner that was alien themed because it's Area 51.
Right, yeah.
It might have been Roswell, probably both, honestly. But I thought maybe it was going to be commemorating something that had happened in North Dakota. And nope, it's just a theme.
Okay.
I'll
take it.
Totally. That somebody decided to embrace. And it seems like it's basically like a space/alien themed Chuck E. Cheese Dave and Buster's mashup. So it's like space and alien themed. And then it has an arcade sort of thing to it. Like it's a restaurant, but then they have all kinds of arcade games and stuff. It's very loud in there.
Yeah,
visually,
it does get loud.
Visually and also sonically.
Yeah.
And like there was at least, I don't know if it's just a mascot for the commercial that I was watching, but there was somebody who was dressed up like an alien, and it seemed to be very kid-centric. Again,
that makes
at least
sense.
The commercials. That's why I was like, maybe this is a Chuck E. Cheese vibe.
Is it based on, or did it inspire? Remember Toy Story? They go to a restaurant that's like a Dave and Buster's Chuck E. Cheese place, and it's called like Space Pizza or something like that.
Oh,
and that's where those little aliens I'm talking about, the original Minions, those little aliens.
I've seen Toy Story, but like not really.
I watched it somewhat recently with Zoe in the last year at least.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google that. I want to see if Planet Pizza.
I guess it didn't really take, huh? With Zoe?
What?
I feel like usually when she watches a movie, then we watch
She
it
either
like
latches
8,000
on
more times.
or
Yeah.
she's like, no more, please.
Yeah.
Like Kazoo Kid. We watched the one Kazoo Kid video that you are in.
Wasn't into it.
And I asked her at the end if she wanted more, and she said, no, turn it off.
Well, she watched one song.
One song. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't into it,
Yeah.
which is fine. Except she liked this one kid in it who makes a funny noise. So yeah, I don't know, but so this place is in Bismarck and Fargo in North Dakota. There's also one in Minnesota, but we're not talking about that today.
Okay.
Not
all right.
interested. But yeah, no, I think it's just a shtick for a restaurant, which is sweet. I don't think it's based on anything, and it has a big like classic alien head logo, and the locations seem to have some sort of flying 3D saucer thing on the outside. It's just fun. And also fun, the last thing I have to say about it, and really the only reason I included this, is that Wikipedia tells me, quote, space aliens finder Mort Bank gained national notoriety in 2012 when he sold a gallon of McJordan BBQ sauce from his time as a McDonald's operator on eBay for $9,995.
Whoa.
I know.
Mort Bank?
Mort Bank, the founder of Space Aliens Grill and Bar, sold an old thing of McJordan barbecue sauce for only almost $10,000.
God damn it. The world's a joke.
I know.
Mort Bank sounds like I'm sorry, maybe he's a nice
Bank
man.
Made bank.
He made bank.
Yeah.
He sounds like a villain. That's a villain name.
Yeah.
Mort Bank.
I have another funny
In
name.
an 80s movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My next story is also almost only included because of a name.
Oh, perfect. I love that. I did my research, didn't
Yeah.
listen to a thing you said, have no idea what you were talking about, don't
That's
care.
all right.
Never gonna know.
Fine. Proceed.
I was listening.
But just know that we're in a fight.
Pizza Planet is the restaurant from Toy Story and does not appear to be inspired by this chain, but they do make a point of saying that there are similar restaurants called Red Rocket's Pizza Port.
Okay. That's a mouthful. Red Rocket's Pizza Port?
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's a bad name.
A terrible name.
Do you want to go to Red Rocket's Pizza Port tonight?
No,
No.
nor any other night.
Weird.
Thank you for asking. All right, I've got one last haunting
Okay.
for you. The San Haven Sanatorium.
Great.
We're back up on the scale. It's got an 89.1 out of 100.
Okay.
The very precise measurements of hauntedplaces.org.
I know. Scientific.
And this is their description. The sanatorium, built in 1909 as a hospital for tuberculosis sufferers, once held over 900 patients but is now closed. Rumor has it that an exploring trespasser died here when he fell down an elevator shaft.
Oh, God.
This is part of what I was saying before about, like, you really
Yeah.
trust the infrastructure of these places?
I know.
You're going to go traipsing
risk you
around
run.
in some abandoned building? No. Floors fall apart, and you might just fall down an elevator shaft. The sound of ghostly babies crying and apparitions in the window have been reported. One of the most notable things about the San Haven Sanatorium is that, yes, there is an episode of Ghost Adventures where the crew goes there.
Okay.
So I watched some of it.
Sure.
Not all of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe we'll do Ghost Adventures sometime soon, but...
I was actually going to suggest that.
Really? All right, well, maybe this will do it, because I watched him and I was like, I miss you, Zach Bagans, but I ain't got time for you today.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote down, why is this series such a mess? Yeah, this was hard to find. So I found out that they did an episode on Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
And on Google, like Google gives you their instant summary, and now an AI is like, here's where to find it. They were wrong. They said it was like season 13, episode 12, and I had to struggle to find it on Max.
William, do you remember this from when we were doing Ghost Adventures?
Yeah.
This was a constant issue.
This series is a total catastrophe of organization.
We were always struggling to find the right episode. It's a mess.
I don't understand why it's so
I don't know why.
messy.
Yeah.
Mr. Bagans, I like organizing things and I like systems. I will fix the organization of your
It
series.
was so weird.
I will get Google in line. I will fight an AI for you, Mr. Bagans. It's actually season 16, episode 12 on Max.
Okay.
Zach, in the top of the show, talks about how in 2001, he doesn't say trespasser. He says a paranormal investigator fell through the floor and died, fell 40 feet and died.
Maybe they were a trespassing paranormal investigator.
Well, what is a paranormal investigator if not a trespasser?
They're not always trespassing.
It's a pretty big Venn diagram. We're in the middle. You're a trespasser. Many of them, I'm not saying they're all. A lot of them are sanctioned or historical, blah, 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 blah. Then there's that huge wedge in the middle. It's just trespasser. Yeah. Anyway.
Which is fine. We're not cops.
Maybe you're not. I'm undercover. So Zach Bagan says, it really makes you wonder if a spirit pushed them.
He is so ridiculous.
He says something else. He interviews a married couple.
This man is always on one.
He really
is. It makes you wonder if a spirit pushed them.
Come on. I know you've got the one theme of your thing, but that's the only thing.
That's a crazy thing to say.
Rotten ass building that's falling apart and crumbling. It's like walking around on a Vortman's wafer packet. Like the floor is just crumbling under your feet, and he thinks that a ghost did it.
That's part of Guide to the Unknown lore, the Vortman's wafer.
We always have Vortmans on hand. I love a Vortman's wafer.
We eat them between shows.
You know how like sometimes people go on a talk show and they mention like, oh man, I love tux.
I was about to use that as an
The
example.
classic one is Johnny Knoxville wearing his tucked shirt on Conan.
Tux are hemorrhoid wipes.
And then he got a ton of hemorrhoid wipes in the mail. Vortmans?
Yeah. Call us.
I know you're, ringy dingy. Our P.O. box is on the website. I only like the vanilla. The rest tastes like shit. Vortmans?
Yeah. We tried the strawberry once, I think, right?
Anyone ever complimented Brandon instantly crap on the rest of it? Every other flavor's a mistake, Vortman.
Yeah. But the vanilla, you hit something there.
Don't you want to treat us well? So, Zach interviews a married couple. One of them claims to have received 3 scratches.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And he says, do you think that what scratched you was conjured by man? That's what he asks. That's his question. He's a great interviewer. And they said,
you know how people always talk about how Sean Evans from Hot Ones, they're like, he's an amazing interviewer. Yeah. And they're like, I know it's a funny premise, but he's an amazing interviewer. Yeah. People should be saying the same thing about Zach Bagans.
Zach Bagans,
he's not getting his due.
He's a great interviewer. Do you think that what scratched you was conjured by man? Jesus.
What a guy.
And then I thought this was nice. He says, did you ever get help for it? And I was like, oh, that's good. Like
an ointment?
That's what I would wonder. But he said, did you ever get a cleansing?
Again, like an
in
ointment?
Zach Bagan's world, there's no kind of help for a scratch other than like a spiritual cleansing and shit.
Oh my God.
Listen, Guide to the Unknown is about enjoying this stuff and having fun with it. And I'm all for whatever people believe in ghosts. I wish I could believe in ghosts. I'm thrilled and delighted by it all.
Yeah.
Did you ever get help for the scratches on your body, like, say, a cleansing?
Yeah, right.
Come on, man. How about a Band-Aid?
Yeah, totally.
Right? How about some Neosporin?
Oh, so funny.
So forget Zach Bagans for now. Again, we'll talk about Zach Bagans in the future. I got comments from human beings.
Yeah, nice.
Who have been to the Sandhaven Sanatorium.
Excellent.
This first one comes to us from Joe W. Johnson Brudda.
Cool. B-R-U-D-D-A?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think he threw that on because it's neat. He says, I used to go there a lot when I was a kid. We ran the halls and jumped from roof to roof. Don't apply additional force if you don't need to.
No.
No jumping.
Absolutely
not.
No
jumping on the roof, Joe. Until we made it to the ground. I've also slid down the garbage chute in the back of the building.
Ew.
Ew.
Why?
Ew. Why are you bragging about sliding down the nasty garbage chute of an abandoned sanatorium?
Ew, you're using your body as a paper towel on like a disgusting counter.
Oh my God. Do you know what your shirt could sop up in there?
That's so gross.
That's so gross. And he posted publicly like, look, listen to what I did. But also,
especially considering, like, I would say, not a lot, but I would say that like 10 to 20% of going to an abandoned building when you're a teenager or something is like bragging about it.
Taking a risk.
Yeah, taking a risk and like impressing somebody who you have like a crush on or something.
I have another story like that in a minute.
Okay, and like maybe going with them.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that you're full of garbage now.
Yeah, exactly. I drank out of the toilet.
Yeah.
I did it all, babe. Ew.
You're messing up, brother.
Yeah, you're messing up, brother. And how much faith do you have that laundry chute is intact all the way through?
That's crazy.
Or that it's not clogged halfway down? If you jumped into a garbage chute,
just that
and you
prospect
got
just gave me a little like, ugh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Have you ever seen the videos online where somebody goes down a water slide and they're supposed to go through the loop-de-loop on it?
No.
And they don't get all the way around?
No,
It's like,
I haven't.
you just live in there now. No. Seal the top, seal the bottom. We're done.
Remember when I went after Zoe's shoe that went midway down the slide at the playground by my house?
Kind of, yeah. It was a risk.
Basically, I was just going to say, what if I got stuck?
You took a huge... I would have left you there so quickly and just been like, I don't know where Kristen is. I thought she was with you.
But I got the shoe.
You did. You're a hero.
Yep.
So yeah, Joe went down the laundry chute. I think that was mostly all I cared about from Joe, but I did copy the rest. I've walked the tunnels and partied there at night. I grew up in this town. In my entire childhood, Sandhaven was a place we went for fun. Sure, it's scary there, but when you grow up around it and around the area, it becomes a part of you, which I like. I do think that that's true. That's part of your like.
It's part of the landscape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't go down the garbage chute. And then this is the last comment that I have from Rob, but it deserves to be read.
All right, great.
I went there with my girlfriend and took a little recorder. I didn't capture any electronic voice phenomena.
Sorry, this is so stupid.
No, please, this is the episode to say it, so by all means. Frenulum.
Frenulum. What if it wasn't a little tape recorder, but one of those little
A little recorder.
because he was going there with his gal.
Play little hot cross buns for my gal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little romance in a haunted location.
Yeah, I fashioned a potato into a piccolo.
With your sweetie, a little music.
Yeah. I didn't capture any electronic voice phenomena, but I did capture a weird incident. There was nobody in the building at the time, just me and her. She was a new girlfriend, so I was sweet-talking her, trying to kiss her. Eventually, I went in and we started to kiss. A couple of seconds into kissing her, what sounded like a small rock was thrown and appeared to clink as it ricocheted off the heating register. We took pause, as it was decently audible.
We took
pause from kissing. But shh, listen to that rustling. Pause. I lightened the mood with a toot on the recorder. I lightened the mood. I thought this was a weird phrasing too.
With little three blind mice.
I lightened the mood with an audible, "Listen, ghosts, I'm trying to make out here," and went back to kissing her.
Oh my God.
Can you just see Peter Venkman saying that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Definitely.
"Listen, ghosts, I'm trying to make out with her," and went back to kissing her. Approximately 5 seconds later, another rock was thrown with much greater force. It ricocheted off the exact same spot. Properly spooked, we stopped and took a look around. There was still no one there.
Oh, no.
Now that's...
Yeah.
It's funny to me that he took a little recorder and recorded the sound of all this. And he's like, I do have the recording.
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
But and it is funny to be like, I lightened the mood. I love that. It's very funny to me. But...
Did he say how old they were by any chance?
It
doesn't matter.
I
I'm
could
just
guess.
Curious.
Mid-60s.
It's so funny.
It's funny, but it does feel like a relatively modern day, like kids going out to Make Out Point.
Yeah, totally.
Right, like up on a hill that overlooks the entire city, wherever that is, and all
Yeah.
those like old urban legends. And then you hear
Right.
something scary, and it's like, "Hey, ghost, I'm trying to make out over here."
What did he say? I'm trying to make out here?
Said, "Listen, ghost, I'm trying to make out here."
Oh my God. That's
And then swooped
so
back
funny.
in. Like you can see the whole thing. He
Yes.
turns away, looks around. Maybe he's even looking at her while he says it. Lightens the mood.
Yeah.
And he's back in like Dracula. But so that's
that's so funny.
That's the Sandhaven Sanatorium hot makeout spot. Or
Garbage wipe.
have fun wiping up the garbage as you slide down the laundry chute in your terry cloth shirt. It just soaks it all up. That garbage chute's probably the cleanest. It's as clean as a whistle now.
Definitely.
So all the kids just slid down.
Yeah. Whee!
Shining. A shiny slide these days.
Oh my God, that's so funny. All right. Well, the last thing I have is about what is known as the alien Meccano mummy. The alien Meccano mummy.
Like a mechanical mummy?
Kind of.
Really?
kind of like a mechanical alien dressed like a mummy.
Jesus, this has everything.
It really does. It has all the elements of a great story. It's about, to explain a little bit and skip ahead, a woman who was abducted, and she said that who abducted her had like the head of a traditional alien, but its arms looked like these things that were like Meccano. I guess it was like a thing from the 70s. Like Meccano toy links. I looked it up and it almost looks like what battle bots are made out of.
Oh, okay.
Like these like silver like things that you can link together.
Okay.
And then it was wrapped in brown vinyl like a mummy.
Weird.
Very weird.
Okay.
So it's kind of a famous purported case of alien abduction from North Dakota. I will say very kind of famous because I really couldn't find a whole lot about it. But it did happen, and it is on some lists of like stuff that happened in North Dakota. So in 1975, Sandra Larson, her boyfriend, and her daughter were driving late at night when a number of glowing orange orbs that were rumbling moved toward their car. And they've described feeling disoriented by this, understandably, and then stuck in place. Like they couldn't really move or react to what was going on. And then the next thing that they knew, they came to, and Sandra, who had been in the driver's seat, was in the back seat. The daughter was in the driver's seat.
Aliens always get this wrong.
I know.
I've heard this in many UFO encounters where it's
Totally.
like, we remove you from your car and then put you back as if nothing ever happened, but everyone's like, I'm wearing your shoes. You're wearing my shoes.
I know.
They can travel across space and time. They can
Well-
freeze you in place, but they can't figure out. They can't
Or-
just draw who was sitting where.
Or do they just not give a shit? What do they care? Maybe
Well, why
just
are
put
they-
them- maybe they just put them back in their place. So they're like, well, this is your thing for your
Yeah,
convenience.
you're in
but
your
what if-
thing. Yeah,
What do I
yeah.
care? They're not trying to hide necessarily.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We like pluck animals out of the ocean and like tag them. And
Right.
then just throw them back into the water. I guess it's the same kind of notion.
I guess so, you know. So they all felt dazed or like, what the hell? And so the daughter, who's old enough to drive, I guess, just drove them like, let's get out of here. They stopped at a gas station nearby to like collect themselves, and they found out that an hour had passed when they didn't feel like it had.
That is
lost time.
That is fun.
Totally. So somehow, I don't know how this happened. Jackie, no, excuse me, that's the daughter's name. Sandra, this is mainly concerned with Sandra. Sandra and her daughter began working with really the reason for the season, the psychologist R. Leo Sprinkle.
Whoa.
Yeah.
R. Leo Sprinkle.
R. Leo Sprinkle of the University of Wyoming. Even though this took place in North Dakota.
He was run out of Wyoming.
Probably, who put them under hypnosis to recover memories of this lost time. So this is where Sandra recalled that weird alien and this group of aliens who looked, as I described before, doing experiments on her. She recalled being levitated from the car and drawn toward those rumbling orange lights where weird experiments happened on her by those creatures who sounded ugly as hell.
Some fugly ass alien.
Definitely a big alien head, like metal arms with a bunch of holes in them so they can like link together, and then brown vinyl wrapped around them.
The brown vinyl is especially tacky.
You're right, it's tacky.
It's tacky.
Like, who wants this? She remembered them taking a painful scraping of the inside of her nose. Ugh. Feeling like her brain had been removed from her skull, and them rubbing a clear liquid on her skin. And then she continued sessions with Dr. Sprinkle over time, and she said that this guy and his brethren visited her on Earth and did continued experiments like levitating her through walls. Now, it seems like people, some people believe this and some people don't, just like most alien things.
And like everything, yeah.
Yes, totally. And that's pretty much where it ends. Like I said, I really couldn't find a whole lot about this.
You found the most important thing of all.
R. Leo Sprinkle.
Dr. Sprinkle.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And it seems like that was pretty much his whole thing, was like I looked a little bit more into him, and it seems like his focus was hypnosis and like alien encounters.
How is he not like
Dr.
the man
Sprinkle.
who invented the sprinkle?
Yeah, you're right.
Where'd the word come from? Why is his name Sprinkle? It's like how some people are named like Smith, and it's because
They came
far
from,
in their
like,
past they had blacksmiths
blacksmiths.
in their family or something like that. Like,
Maybe his great-grandpappy invented the sprinkle.
I invented the sprinkle.
And he, like, left the family business
Right,
of
yeah,
making sprinkles.
Yes, yeah.
And decided to become a psychologist or whatever he is.
Imagine my delight when I found out what it was to combine a sprinkle with ice cream.
I actually don't like sprinkles.
Before that, I was using sprinkles as horse food.
They are to me. I find them useless.
Yeah, I don't disagree. How do you feel about rice?
I don't really like rice.
Yeah, neither do I. I want everything that goes on the rice.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ryan really likes rice.
So
and
does Allie. Yeah. They can get together and have rice sometime.
Yeah, maybe they should. He makes rice, here and there, and sometimes it's good. But basically, as long as it's a side dish, I'm going for everything else.
I want everything else.
If he's incorporated it into the main dish, I'm having it, and he's made it all good.
Yeah,
'Cause he makes good things,
Yes.
but I'm never that interested in it.
I know, if I'm being honest, yeah.
Yeah.
So Dr. Sprinkle, fuck you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We're at the end of the show.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, what a tangled web we wove.
Overnight.
Oh, best episode.
Yep.
Best episode of all time.
Yes.
We know it. Leave a review. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
I know what we did. I know how good it was.
It does matter if you liked us. If you liked us.
If you liked us.
If you liked us and if you liked it, please leave a review. That'd
Yes,
be very,
please.
very nice wherever you listen. Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, whatever works for you. Reviews are great. That means when people see the show, they might be like, oh, other
Yep.
people don't think this sucks. Maybe I'll listen to it too.
I'm not even kidding. They put a nice little spring in my step. You know what?
They do.
I didn't read the review in the mid-show because my notes screwed up and it didn't come through. But
Oh, okay.
I usually read reviews on the show. So if
Yeah.
you leave a review, it might make it to a future episode.
That'd be great.
And thank you so much to everybody who already has.
Yeah, thank you very much. Seriously.
Similarly, thank you to everybody who supports us on
Yes.
patreon.com/GTTUpod. You can join for free if you'd like to see what we're up to. And then we've got all the other tiers that hopefully fit your lifestyle in some way, shape, or form. And we're
Yeah.
always having fun over there. So please come join us.
Yeah.
Great community in the Discord. Great community in that Discord.
Super cool. I really love it.
Yep.
It's worth a check out.
At GTTUpod on all social media, so you can keep up to date when we're going live, when we've got new shows out, updates as they drop. At Chillin' Kristen.
Yep.
At The Myth Traveler. We'll be back next week with something totally different, but still rooted
Probably
in
not that
spookiness.
different, frankly.
Yeah, probably relatively similar.
Yeah.
And that's the joy.
Yeah.
Until next time, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld go we.
Frenulum.
Frenulum.